Hi. Come on in. We're going to get started here directly. So excited. This information is so rich and good about how we can get big. That's a whole posture and move. So more to come here shortly. I won't be before you very long, but just want to give folks a moment to get the announcement, the alert that is going out into the atmosphere that Delilah Bartlett is live. And she is talking about getting big. So come on in as we're waiting. I'm going to go over here as we're waiting. Feel free to just check in. Let us know where you're from. And we're going to get started here momentarily. So come on in. Yeah. It's one of my new favorite songs. Someone turned me on to some Afro soca music. And so I've been vibing to Afro soca music for a few weeks now. And so really, really excited about just learning new things and experiencing new things. But we are officially looking at the clock. We're at 7:31. I was going to wait till about 32 and get started. But we're just going to go ahead and jump on in. Thank you for the hearts. Hearts and comments make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It lets me know that things are resonating or people are just appreciating my presence. And so you got to know that just feels good. And as the number continues to climb on folks who are watching, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment, pulling up my notes, but take a moment and do an introduction just in case I've happened to land on the mobile device or laptop of someone who's never, ever encountered me. I feel it's only proper to introduce myself. So let's do that. I'm Delilah Bartlett. I am a leader and a coach in many things. I am a leader and coach in corporate America. I own and operate my own personal and professional life coaching business. I also own and operate an online ministry. I do all things that can help empower, encourage, and equip you to be a success. And anybody who's been around me or has followed Delilah's downloads for a minute, you know my definition of success is becoming the best version of yourself in service to others, in service to yourself, and of course, in service to those you serve. And so that's who I am. I do many things in many places, but at the core of it, I am coming to equip you to unleash the awesomeness, the dopeness that is available to you. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We're getting big. All about life, all about career as a professional. I really hark on career development. I have programs and products available for resume building, interview prep, how to get the next best career, but also how to build relationships as well. And so today I'm really coming to talk about the career space. Even though talking about career space, let me be clear, these strategies, techniques can be applied in other places. If you are not pursuing a career, but you're growing a business and you're building partnerships. If you're not pursuing a career, growing business, but you're making impact in community. Like these attributes can be applied, but since I am a woman who really focuses on sharpening folks for career, today we're going to talk about career. And I won't be before you very long. I want to let you know that everything that I do really kind of focuses in three veins. I talk about you. I talk and help you get clear on your purpose. I help unveil and expose you to further levels of your potential. And I also, thank you for the hearts, I also help folks create a plan. I have some signature programs, coaching programs that I do one-on-one, group coaching sessions. And here shortly, I'm going to roll out a new product. And toward the end of this, I'll share a little bit about that with you. But today, a little tip on how to get big. If you've seen the video, it blessed me. So I'm hoping you got a chance to see the short video that I did, about 2.5 minutes, talking about my experience in swimming. So I gave an analogy or comparison to what it looks like, an analogy to what it looks like to get big. And one of the areas that can help you get big, and when I say get big, get seen, get noticed, stand out from the rest, right? Be set apart. That's what I mean when I say get big. And so in this video, I shared some of that with you, and I'm gonna share a tidbit here. But before I do that, I do want to encourage you. I'm gonna put some here in the chat. This will be conversational, so you guys can chime in at any time. But I'm putting something here in the chat. My website, my web address, DelilahBartlett.com. I am launching a newsletter here shortly in the next few weeks. Please go and sign up to be on the exclusive list of folks who will receive the newsletter that will also have tips on career building, relationship building, and just overall life coaching strategies to continue to unlock your purpose, potential, and help you plan for even a greater you. So I just dropped that in the chat. Make sure you go and sign up for that. And so I shared this video. This video, the analogy basically was, I like to swim, and I wanted to become a better swimmer because I knew I was in a new environment, in a new space. In order for me to be able to swim the length of the pool, the techniques I had wasn't going to cut it. I was going to have to learn something more, something better to get bigger in order to attack this pool. One of the things and strategies I used to do that was actually to observe someone else who was doing what I wanted to do. And so I did that. I immediately applied the technique, and after a lap and a half, I was actually able to gain stride and stroke and have a more peaceful swim. And so I really want to talk to you today, the tip and thing we're going to drill down in today, and I'll ask you some questions. So hopefully you're in a position to actually engage. But the thing that we're going to drill down today is the concept of, in order to be big, focusing on the thing that you already do very, very well. And so I wrote down here my notes, doubling down on your strengths. So doubling down on your strengths. It's a story. I'll share this brief story. There's a story that talks about, think about if Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, we all know Michael Jordan. If you don't know Michael Jordan, my goodness, you must, I don't know how young you are, but it makes me feel a little older. But Michael Jordan plays basketball, if you're not familiar. NBA basketball player, ex-basketball player. Just imagine, right? Michael Jordan was a basketball player. Growing up, he played basketball, but he also, let's say he played tennis. And he went off to play tennis. And these are some things I touch on, just sidebar. These are some things I touch on and go deeper into my one-on-one coaching. Should you ever feel the need to really go higher, faster, available as a one-on-one coach as well. But anyway, so Michael Jordan, and I'm just being reminded of. So Michael Jordan's a basketball player, focuses on basketball, but also plays like tennis. Just imagine if Michael Jordan was a poor tennis player, and his family, because he played tennis poorly, wanted him to focus more on playing tennis. Well, now the energy, resources, time, and everything that they have, they're spending it on not his strength, right? They're spending it on the thing that he's not strong at, thus not allowing him to grow into his full potential. And so what I'm getting home, nailing home for you is, you really have to, in order to stand out, you really got to get clear on what it is that you do well. We all do something very, very well. There is potential in all of us. And so I want to share a couple slides. And so this slide, they both talk about potential. This slide says continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking potential. And so as you continue to build on the potential that you already have, it's going to is what's going to continue to unlock you. It's what's going to continue to develop you. It's what's going to continue to set you apart. And I do want to be clear that when we talk about potential by definition is having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future, something more. I like to say something more in the future. And so before we continue, I do want to pull back, because I'm talking about building on the strength, and just do ask a question briefly. What is your current strength? What do you see yourself when you show up in a space and there's something that you want to be known for? Have you yet identified, again, this is interactive, so come on and give it to me in the chat. Have you yet identified what your strength is? the thing that you're known for. Are you a communicator? And so you show up in a space and you're the one that can communicate and make sure that everybody understands, or you're a translator that, no matter if there's different generations or different business groups, that you're able to translate and make sure there's good understanding. Are you the team builder? Are you the one that motivates and equips everybody else? Are you the innovator? Are you the one that comes up with fabulous, fantastic, creative concepts and ingenuous ideas? Are you the administrator? You're the one that keeps everything, or like, what is your strength? What do you do well? If you haven't been able to guess, you can. I'll give you a hint. I'm doing my strength. A couple of my strengths. Communication is a strength, and motivation is a strength. And so those are things that I do well. But I do want to pause. I'm looking at the comments. I see folks are watching, and so I am waiting for you to engage and just brag on yourself a little bit. What do you do, and what do you do? What do you do well? What do you do well? Is hospitality your strength? Are you the one that makes sure everybody's taken care of, and you greet and you make sure everything it looks nice? Like, what do you do well? What do you do well? So my hope is going to be, because I'm thinking that maybe I don't have comments from one of the services where I'm live. Right now I'm live in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And so if you're answering and I can't get to you, and I'm thinking it may be LinkedIn, give me a second, guys. I want to see something. If I maybe I can log on my phone and see if there are I don't know why this streaming service does not allow sometimes to see LinkedIn comments, but give me just a second, because this will not be long. Thank you for bearing with me. I am going live over here on LinkedIn. I am going to turn this down to see if I see comments. And now I am, oh yeah, a couple people are here from LinkedIn. And so now I'm tracking LinkedIn as well. So I got all of y'all. I got all of y'all. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. If there are comments, by golly, I'm going to see them here. So if you want to go ahead and drop your strength, the thing that you're good at, feel free to do that. But I am going to continue. And so in identifying your strength, again, we're talking about how to get big, how to stand out, how to stand apart, how not to blend in with everyone else. I want to show you this too. There's a slide that I didn't anticipate showing you, but I'm going to put it up here. It's from an older deck, and aesthetically it needs to be tweaked a little bit. But basically what it shows, and I don't know how to move this slide, but this is an IQ bell. It can also be representative of a performance curve. If you are in corporate America, you know that when you go into your review, there are a certain set of percentage that does not meet expectation. The majority are in the middle of meet expectation, and there are a few off to the right that are above the expectation. The same is true for like an IQ curve. The majority of people are in the middle, people are below. Average IQ are a small percentage to the left, people are above, small percentage to the right. I like to talk to people to the right. I like to talk to people who are not necessarily above our IQ, but people who like to stand out and not be average in the middle. And so I brought that up for illustration. Did not plan to show it, but I did for illustration on if you are trying to be to the right of the curve, if you are trying to stand out and not blend in with everybody else who's doing the average thing and has no intention and no vision on what they're doing, then this is the conversation for you on how to get big. We're going to start with your strengths. We'll do a series of conversations over the next couple of weeks, but we're talking about your strengths. So identify it. Don't just listen to this. You have to put a little bit of work in. Identify your strength. And so now that you've identified your strength, really want to double down into that and just kind of have conversation with yourself on this thing that I do, the communication, the leadership, the motivation. Is this something that I want to make a brand, a part of my personal brand and be known for? Is this something I want to be known for? Okay, yeah. And so you know what the strength is, right? So you're an innovator, you're a team leader, you're a communicator, you're an administrator. You operational you deliver results. Whatever your strength may be. I'm just analytical thinking. Like there are tons and tons. You look at different lists. There could be 10, there could be 30. Identify what the strength is. First of all, self-awareness. Let's say that. Self-awareness. Know what your strength is. Don't just muddle around and just, go along with the average thing. Identify what your strength is, and we're going to double down on that. And here's the things I need you to ask yourself about your strength. If you're Michael Jordan, right? I used the analogy earlier on Michael Jordan. He plays basketball. You're not trying. If you're Michael Jordan, you're not trying to spend all of your resources trying to learn tennis, right? You may need to understand the fundamentals of tennis. You may need to understand that tennis exists, but you really, really dedicate time into playing basketball. And so, if you are, let's say for me, if I am a communicator, I need to learn about things like finances and things like that in order to be a more holistic and well-rounded leader. But I'm doubling down on time I spend on reading books around communication, on taking seminars around communication, on practicing and using my communication. Thanks, Griselda, for piping in. I love that. Team builder and motivator. Beautiful, beautiful. Like you and I are in similar vein with both, but with both of those, with both of those. And so as we've identified what the strength is, we now want to think about, how much time. What I wrote down in my notes was how many hours a week do you spend on advancing your strength, right? You think about like school, going back to school, and I don't know if these were your parents, but for my parents or my parents and my grandparents, it was pretty much like if I brought in, all A's and two B's, or let's make it a little bit dramatic, all A's and one D, right? We talked a lot about those D's, right? It might have been, yay, great job on the A's, but we talked a lot about those D's. I am liking Griselda's comment. We talked a lot about the D. We tend to hone in on what people don't do well, even in work, right? People talk about, oh yeah, you're great at this, but let's really talk about this thing you're not so great at. If you are able to identify your strength, and if you are able to pour in time into building that strength, then you become the person known for that thing, right? Using Griselda as an example, team builder and motivator. As she continues to learn more about motivation, learn more about techniques around motivation, find mentors, right, that are great motivators, and not just motivators for the sake of making people happy, but influence and efficacy, effective motivation, right? She's going to become a better motivator. And in a space where everybody's in that bell and being average, Griselda's going to stand out because people are going to know, oh, if you need motivation, she's a person. She does it well. She's skilled at it. She's trained at it. It's her go-to. Like people, it will be a part of your personal brand, and you will start to stand out even more. And so the question I had back to the group that's here is, how many hours, even minutes a week, are you spending on building the strength that you already have? And if your answer, because I'm assuming most people's answer is going to be, I don't. I just go through life, and no shade, because I've been there, and at times I can fall back there, but I know enough to pull myself out of it. You may be at, I really don't intentionally build my strength. I've kind of thought, I'm okay with where I am, and I do my job, and I learn the different things about my job, and I hope that prepares me for the next promotion. Maybe, right? Maybe. But what's going to better prepare you is getting really intentional about the thing you do well and making that thing just shine. When I say shine, I think about a diamond. I think about pressure and time being applied. And so if you apply pressure to yourself by being more intentional, to be more intentional on looking for literature, looking for books, looking for people who have the thing that you want. Remember the thing that I shared about swimming, finding somebody who was doing what I wanted to do and watching and following them. There's no shade in that. The world would like to tell us, oh, well, anyway, feel a certain kind of way about needing help. We all need help. Second graders can teach kindergartners. Fifth graders can teach second graders, right? High schoolers can teach fifth graders. PhD can teach, it just goes on. High schoolers, it goes, everybody can be teaching someone. So there's somebody out there who you can look at and see who's doing the thing you want to do in order to help you continue to propel yourself forward in the strength that you have. And so when we talk about getting big, get big in the thing you're already good at. Don't spend a ton of time over here and this stuff over here. You may need to know some of that. I would say if you spend 10 minutes on that, then you spend 30 minutes on the thing that's going to make you get big. And I want you also to ask yourself a couple more questions. If you haven't spent time on intentionally making your strength stronger and getting bigger, why not? Are you distracted? Have you not become intentional about actually building your career, wanting more money, wanting more influence, being a bigger impact in your community, making change that you desire to see? Have you not made that decision? If so, then make that decision. Have a conversation with yourself and be honest. Do you really want to have that level of influence and impact? And if you do, then why haven't you created the time? If you have a schedule problem, I'm letting all kind of stuff go here. This stuff I normally charge people for, but we just gonna keep going. Look at your schedule. Where is the stuff? Where's the stuff that needs to come out? Where's the 20 minutes that you may be spending on television? Where's the 20 minutes that you may be spending on sleeping? Whatever it is, how do you find that sacrifice? Because it's going to cost you something. Being able to be the next level of yourself is going to cost you something. You have to pay something. You have to pay time. You have to pay sacrifice. You're going to have to pay something in order to become where you're trying to become. And so if you have not yet started to dedicate time weekly to grow on this strength, this is just be reading articles. This can just be researching information. This could just be spending time with people. If you've not yet dedicated time, start to dedicate time on your strength to build it so that you can become even more of a subject matter expert at it, so you can operate in that gifting on autopilot, so that you can be bigger than the bell curve, so that you can stand out, get the influence, the impact, the income that you desire. And if you have not been doing those things, like carving out time every week, doubling down, being intentional about your strength, you ask yourself why. You're going to answer those questions. This is an exercise. Let me be clear. This is an exercise. You're not just listening. At the end of this, make sure that you are writing down your strength. Make sure that you are understanding what it is. Make sure that you're answering the question of how many hours a week do you spend on intentionally building your strength. If you do not spend time, if you don't spend at least 60 minutes doing it, then ask yourself why. After you've asked yourself why, the last question I want you to ask yourself is, what are the hurdles? When you say why, get real specific on what those hurdles are on why the why exists, right? So if your why is because I don't have time, what is stopping you from having time? Identify those hurdles, right? And then after you identify those hurdles, identify strategies to get over the hurdles. Those are all things I do in coaching, right? Helping people identify strategies, creating strategies to get over hurdles, be an accountability partner to make sure we have momentum to get over the hurdles. But I'm giving you some of the stuff so you could just go ahead and just be great, because I ultimately want the world to be in a better place. And I know that in order for the world to be in a better place, it takes for you to be unlocked and untapped. So that's what we talked about today on getting big, focusing on the strength. We're going to focus on the strength today. I think I'm going to do like 3 more of these before I unveil, before I drop the workshop. So the workshop basically, for those of you who are here and those who catch on the replay, my signature coaching program is a 4-week program, Jumpstart. It's a daily program. It's loaded with a bunch of stuff. Great program. I've seen people go off and be promoted. I've seen people start their nonprofit. I've seen people create their business. Like, it is dope. What I'm doing is actually developing a spinoff from my signature program to create a workshop where the program itself is 4 weeks. I'm going to deliver a 4-hour workshop that goes through the 4 pillars that I go through in Jumpstart. And it'll be the same information. The only difference is that I will not be walking with you week after week with you. And so this is episode 1, let's call it. I'm going to drop this about the strength. This is just free. Go forth and do it and watch it just unfold and just manifest stuff in your life and be great. I'm going to do 2 more topics, more coming on that. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, DelilahBartlett.com. Sign up to make sure you're getting a newsletter. And then sometime in the next couple of weeks, I will drop information for the workshop. If you're there, there's probably going to be a discount code for the first X amount of people that sign up for the workshop. It'll be a virtual workshop. So no matter where you are, if you're my Colombian friends, if you're my friends over in Europe, if you're my friends somewhere throughout the US, you'll be able to take advantage of it. But everything that I've packed in 4 weeks of Jumpstart my signature coaching program, one-on-one coaching program, I have morphed into a 4-hour workshop that will give you all the same principles. Only thing is that you have to walk away and actually get it done without my help. And it's a fraction of the price. So more to come. But this is the first kind of trickle into that. That's where we're headed. We're headed into how can Delilah help you even more. She's showing up. She's giving free strategy and information. And if you take it, I promise you will see the impact in your life. I'll show up here probably next week, do the same thing. We'll do this probably about 3 weeks. And at the end of August, I'll drop a date for the workshop. You want to make sure you're again on the sign up for the exclusive newsletter so that you can get exclusive coupon codes and stuff like that. But I'm really out here trying to help folks. I'm trying to do this as best as I can. I understand that I have 25 years worth of a corporate career, 6 years of operating my own ministry, almost 2 years with my business, published author. I know I've done some stuff that's really going to help some people. And I believe you are the people, and not just helping you for you, but for your families, your communities, and the people you serve. So get big, build your strength, make your strength even stronger. But with that, I see I'm losing a little bit of daylight. I do want to end it by a Q&A, see if you guys have any questions out there on, hey, how do I find my strength? What if my strength is this? What would you say? Like, I am available. Any questions you have for a couple minutes, anything that you have around the programs that I offer, if you want to know more, any questions? Any questions? I'm glad I didn't say a time when we came here. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's going to be like 15 minutes. And then it's like, oh, 27 minutes. Any questions? Potential. Remember, you're really building, when we say building strength, you're tapping into the potential. And as we talked about, I'm going back to this slide, and then I will let you go if there are no questions. Potential, having or showing the capacity. You have capacity. We could talk about capacity too at some other conversation. You having the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. You are something now, and you're going to be a bigger something in the future. And my commitment is to be available to help get you there. And I can only be available. It's up to you if you take me up on the availability. Thanks, Criselda. Appreciate it. Lot of insightful questions to think about. Think about it. As you know, you can come back and you can put them here even after the live is over. Ask questions and I'll be sure to respond. That's what we have, guys. Delilah Bartlett, leader and coach extraordinaire, looking to help people build the lives and careers that they dream about. That's pretty much it, really, bottom line. If there is anything, do that. That's going to be powerful. And Criselda, as you're evaluating the time you spend, like, be real with yourself, right? Because it's just you and you. Evaluate the time, and then start to set like little, even if you start in small increments, right? So you're going to spend 20 minutes a week on building your strength. 20 minutes, just listen to that. 20 minutes a week. That's a couple minutes a day on intentionally building your strength, right? Then you'll start to create milestones for what that looks like, right? How do you know what are the litmus tests on knowing that strength is building? How are you checking in with others to see the difference that they're noticing in you? But first, just evaluate it and see if you are spending it. And if not, start with a goal of 20 minutes a week. And so, YouTube University and Google, like, there's so much information out there that can help you become a better you. But I also make myself available. So we'll get into that. But thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for being active in the conversation. Hope you guys had all your favorite writing utensils and you wrote some good stuff down. And not only did you write it down, you're going to go do something with it. That's where the rubber meets the road, when you go do something with it. But thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Be on the lookout. Make sure you're following me everywhere on social media. Thanks, Tony. Make sure you follow me everywhere on social media. I drop nuggets everywhere. You guys know, as I mentioned, corporate leader, business owner, ministry leader. So there's so many things that you can get here. And I just look to fill you up so you can go out and live in the overflow that you deserve to live in. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have an amazing, amazing evening. Take care.